Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm doing a little bit of something new. I know a lot of you have reached out and asked me on like DMs and stuff like that about the Google Pixel Fold, which is a new phone that Google came out with that literally folds. And I did not do a video on this before because it was just not something that was of interest to me, but I didn't anticipate that so many of you would be interested and also interested in my thoughts. So my apologies for being late with this video, but essentially what I'm gonna do and why this is gonna be a different kind of video is I'm going to share my phone screen and I'm actually gonna go onto the Google Store website and just kind of like browse around and see what the Google Fold is all about, because I actually don't know too much about it aside from the fact that of course it folds. And then I will share my live thoughts with you as I scroll on the website, and maybe I'll click through some other new products that they have on the store to see what that's all about as well. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I am on the Google Store website right now and they're already showcasing the Pixel 7a, which I don't think I need to go in depth with. I feel like every single phone in their different series has an A series as well, so I feel like you all get the gist. It's kind of just like a more affordable version of the 7 or 7 Pro, but has like a lot of similar features. So that's the main thing that they're kind of showcasing right now. But as you can see here, popular on the Google Store, there are some, or 3 to be exact, products that have that little bubble that says new. So I'm going to click into, of course, the Pixel Fold. That's what this video is mostly going to be about. Maybe I'll click into the tablet, we'll see. But this is the Fold. Again, the only thing I know about this phone is that it folds, obviously. And to me, in my opinion, foldable phones in this day and age that look like this are not of interest to me. I obviously came from a generation where foldable phones, flip phones, were a thing, and those were like the OG phones, and I loved those phones because they had keyboards. But for me, phones that fold like this and don't have keyboards, like physical keyboards, they just don't appeal to me. So this is why this phone had never appealed to me in the first place. It basically folds out, as you can see in this photo, into like a mini tablet of sorts. I am very curious as to who this appeals to. So if you're somebody that went into my DMs, you asked me about this, or you purchased it for yourself, let me know what is appealing to this for you. Is it because it turns into sort of like a mini tablet and it gives you more like physical space to work on? Let me know. Maybe it's just like the novelty of it, but it does look pretty cool. I keep swiping through the same thing because I'm just so fascinated at how it looks. When it's in this view, it almost looks exactly like just the phone itself, just a slight bit bigger, and you can obviously see the little bit of bend on the side. It's pretty sleek, not gonna lie. For a foldable phone, looks pretty sleek. This opposite side, or the other side of the fold, looks again just like a regular standard phone. It looks pretty cool. I feel like the curve is quite seamless. It always freaks me out that like when it expands, if it's gonna have like a weird bend in the middle, and I can kind of see it, but I feel like that's impossible to avoid. But when we look at it expanded here, and I know this is just like a digitized version, like it's an enhanced photo of what the actual phone looks like, but it looks pretty seamless, not gonna lie. It also looks pretty thick in my opinion. I know there's only so much you can do there, but it looks kind of thick. Actually, not super thick. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a pro in any of these foldable touchscreen type devices. Of the colors, obviously, I am a big fan of like these neutral colors. I like the porcelain color. If I were to get a fold, it would probably be in this color. But something about the obsidian, the black, just looks a lot sleeker. So maybe this is the more practical approach. Yeah, they both look great, to be honest with you. This one looks just maybe a slight bit bulkier because black always is like slimming. But the other thing about this phone and why it doesn't appeal to me is that it is $1,800 from $1,800. So it gets more expensive as you add on things, I'm sure. There's no way I'm spending that much money for a phone, especially knowing that I am going to eventually go into the next version of these Pixel phones, so the 8. it just doesn't make sense to me. If I'm going to keep a phone for 1 year, I don't want to be spending $1,800. That's the price of a full-blown laptop. That's probably the price or close to the price of my computer. So I just don't feel comfortable paying that much for a phone. I've never paid that much for a phone, and I don't think I ever will. Fingers crossed we don't ever come to the point where that's just like the norm for phones. I don't think it would be, but that's insanely expensive. But of course, as you can see in the small text there, or $50 a month with 36 months financing. So you would have to have this phone for several years in order for you to pay that $50 a month. For a limited time, Pixel Watch. I have the Pixel Watch. I'm not wearing it on my wrist right now. It's on my ankle. But let's see. Google's first foldable, brilliant in every way. So let's see what's so cool about this phone. It has a powerful processor you'll only find on Pixel. We also see those kinds of things on just the standard phone. Split screen lets you do two things at once. I see the appeal in that. I guess if you really need like a larger physical screen in order to do two completely different things, I can definitely see the appeal in that. I just feel like the phone would be so gigantic that I would have to prop it up like a tablet anyway, but okay. Then it has the best camera on a foldable phone. Okay, if you think about that sentence, it's the best camera on a foldable phone, but it's probably the same as this standard phone that I have. I have the 7 Pro, by the way. And then the highest rated security features. We know that Google has been working a lot on security features, not just with these foldable phones, but with all of the phones, the newer phones. I'm pretty sure there have been security updates to the older phones as well. And then it says it pairs perfectly with Pixel Buds, watch, and tablet. So what I'm getting here, the gist of this phone is essentially the novelty of it, right? It has a lot of the same things or very similar things to what you would get in a standard Pixel phone, 7 series and probably the older series now that there have been a lot of software updates. But if you want this phone in particular, the novelty of it being a foldable phone and the fact that it does like a physical larger split screen is the appeal here. Not anything that is particularly interesting for me. A full 5.8 pixel phone when it's folded. Unfolded, you get 7.6. So you get pretty much almost 2 inches more in screen, and it's immersive. Again, this looks like a mini tablet. I think that's pretty cool. Not cool enough, in my opinion, to be paying that much for it. But it is pretty cool. Most durable hinge on a foldable. That's something that would definitely be a concern for me if I was interested in the fold phones. This hinge looks pretty great in my opinion. I like how it looks actually. And it says it's actually the thinnest foldable of all. I wonder if I can actually click on that. It probably says it at the bottom. Thinnest foldable. Let me just quickly see where I can see that thinnest. Okay, there's just so much going on this page. I'll get back to how thin it is, but it says it's ready for spills and splashes. Okay, another standard phone type thing. The battery can last all day long. I feel like that's another big concern that I would have for a foldable phone. If it's the expectation that I'm going to be using this phone a lot more and in a more immersive way because it kind of folds out and you're able to do a lot more on it at the same time, I would hope that the battery lasts all day long because you would essentially almost be doing double the amount of work that you usually do on the phone. Theoretically, I'm not too sure. It's made with matte glass and polished aluminum. I like the hardware that they use. I feel like their hardware is just something that's mostly appealed to me, and I like what they've used on the 7 series, so that's cool. Okay, so now multitasking and entertainment. Do more in even more ways. We have the speed of the tensor, of course. That's something that is becoming more standard with the Google phones. Boosts battery life, that's important. Secure. Photos, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff is kind of like reiterations, more details on the stuff that they kind of featured at the top of the website page. Let's see. I see some small text here. Nothing worth kind of like noting out loud. Massive upgrade for multitasking. Again, I think that's the main appeal here, aside from novelty. That picture makes it look super cool. It also makes it look gigantic in that person's hand. It looks like a full-blown tablet in that person's hand. But it is very cool to see that. I feel like for me, if I was doing like video editing and then I wanted to seamlessly upload it onto a social media platform, that would definitely allow this feature to shine. And if I was to get my hands on a Fold and try that out, that would be pretty cool. But again, it's not enough for me, I guess, to pay that much. I feel like I'm such a downer when I say that, but I don't mean to be a downer when I say that. It's just not for me. It's just not enough for me particularly, but it can definitely be useful for a lot of people, I'm sure. Okay, translation is even easier with dual screen. That is cool. That is very cool. Wow, that's awesome. For the person to be able to see on one screen that's also translating it over to the other person that they're communicating it on the other screen, that is awesome. I feel like Google does great stuff when it comes to translation, making it more simpler, more accessible, and breaking that barrier that is constantly there when you have a language discrepancy with someone else. I feel like they're doing such innovative things with that, so I love this feature. Very cool. Unfold a beautiful immersive display. Of course, I'm sure the display is fabulous. Watch YouTube on the big display and control it with your voice. Wow, that's pretty cool. Kind of sitting it down like a laptop. That's so funny to me, seeing that from a phone. Okay, photography. The best camera on a foldable phone. Of course, we know Pixel phones are known for their great camera features, so not a surprise there. Step up with selfies with... That's pretty cool. This picture here that shows that you can put the camera to you, so you're using the back stronger camera on the back of the phone, but you can also see what it looks like on the front of the phone. That's super useful. If I had a tripod that could fit a phone of this size, and I did that and I was able to record videos of me kind of like talking to you in the way that I am right now, and I have like a lens finder here, or a viewfinder here, and I was able to do that for videos like for TikTok and Instagram, that's pretty awesome. Again, I would need a tripod that could fit a phone like this in order for that to end up being useful, but that's pretty cool. Okay, photo stuff, only possible on the Pixel, we know that stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna skip through all of these things that are pretty much known to the Pixel audience. Okay, which Pixel is right for you? They do this on all of the pages, so I'm just gonna skip through that. But you can see the technicalities here. You can see that it is comparing the Fold to the Pro, so that's actually perfect because it's comparing my phone to the Fold. You can see there is a big difference in display size. The camera, like I said, looks to be the same, processor the same, memory the same, battery and charging. Interesting. There are slight discrepancies here, and it looks like the Fold doesn't have fast wireless charging. Fast wireless charging as opposed to just wireless charging. Battery share doesn't seem to be the same on the Fold. Security and authentication looks to be the same as I suspected. And then we just see a collection of the other items that you can pair along, all of their little extra features that they are bundling to give you a little bit of a discount. Okay, all of the usual stuff. So I'm going into the fine text here because I want to see how thin that phone was. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Let's actually just go back up and see what number that fine text was. It was 6. We're reading fine text here. So for 6, among foldable phones in the US measurement does not include... Okay, so it's not actually giving me the exact specs on that. I'm sure it's somewhere. I'm sure... Oh, here we go. This is the actual specs of the phone. I'm curious mostly about the thinness. There we go. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. That's not bad. That's actually pretty thin. I'm impressed by that. But yeah, that's pretty much the phone. I don't think there's anything else to kind of look at it. I think what I suspected about the Pixel Fold is exactly what I'm seeing here. It has all of the bells and whistles when it comes to the novelty of being able to open it up. And I think the main benefit of it, aside from novelty and saying, oh my gosh, I have a foldable phone, is the fact that you can multitask on this a lot, on a much larger physical scale. So if that's something that is of interest of you, if that's something that's super helpful to you, that's a major plus. And I also really love the translation feature here, where you can see on one side, like when you're communicating with someone, they can see one side, you can see one side. Again, with the camera feature, you can see what you look like using the rear view camera because you can see both screens at the same time. Those features are pretty darn cool. I'm just gonna quickly go into the Pixel tablet just to see what it looks like. I just want to say that I really love the colors of these tablets, and I have done some looking into the tablet. To me, I think it's pretty cool, to be honest with you. It's a tablet, it's an Android tablet, it's powered by Android, so in my opinion, I don't know how much more I would use it aside from like my standard Google Home hub. Is it hub that I have like in my kitchen and stuff like that? I don't know if I'll be sitting down and doing actual work on a tablet like this. So to me, this also doesn't appeal to me, but I will just say this is super cool. I also think the fact that it can detach to the speaker here, super, super cool. That was genius in my opinion. I love the colors, the aesthetic that they have and the colors. Oh my God. It is just so spot on to what I'm interested in. I just think there are some great innovations going on with the Pixel tablet. It's just not enough for me to take the plunge and actually purchase it, especially because I have a lot of Google Homes and I have that larger Google Home that has a screen on it already, and I just don't feel the need to get something additional. So I think this might appeal to people who are a little bit newer to the Pixel world, and the appeal of it detaching from the speaker is super, super cool. But again, just not something for me. And I'll just wrap this up by saying, like, these devices are very cool and very novel, and they have some great innovations going on in their own right, but they're just not worth it for me at the time. So again, that's why I wasn't really interested in doing a video on this, but I'm so sorry that I know a lot of you were probably anticipating me to do a video on this because I do videos on all of the other Pixel stuff. So it just wasn't something that appealed to me, but if it is something that appeals to you, let me know. If you purchase any of these things, let me know. Let me know your like first thoughts on how you have been using them, if they are worth it to you, if that price tag, especially on the Pixel Fold, is worth it to you. I would absolutely love to know. I will say, to end this off, I'm not going to be purchasing any of these devices anytime soon. I'm mostly looking forward to the Pixel 8 series, so you'll definitely see videos from me about the 8 series coming soon. We're only a few months away actually from October, so you'll definitely see more videos from me on that. But that is all for this week's video. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you've been sticking around, and I haven't been doing much tech videos because there hasn't really been much lately, aside from this, of course. But yeah, I'll talk to you in next week's video.